Welcome to our discussion, folks. Today we're diving into the persistent issue of nurse bullying in the workplace, especially focusing on the challenges new nurses face.
Absolutely. It's a critical topic. So we're talking about how experienced nurses sometimes engage in what they call eating their young, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's like new nurses often get labeled as baby nurses and made to feel inexperienced or even undervalued, which adds to the stress of their early career.
Right? And that's not just an isolated issue. The workplace environment itself seems to be a breeding ground for this kind of behavior.
Totally. And even though COVID-19 has dominated healthcare priorities recently, bullying remains a significant problem. It's not something we can just sweep under the rug.
Yep. It kind of shows that some toxic behaviors, like bullying, are just ingrained in the hierarchical structures within the profession.
Absolutely. It's often rooted in long-standing power dynamics. One interesting point is how bullying is sometimes used as a misguided rite of passage, getting new nurses to grow thick skin.
Right. But I wonder, should we really be accepting any form of that? I mean, isn't that just perpetuating the cycle?
Exactly. And that's where the recommendations come in. It's all about acknowledging bullying, addressing it directly, and building a culture of zero tolerance.
And these approaches are not only aimed at helping the targets, but also in pushing the bullies to change, right?
Yes, exactly. For instance, when bullying behavior is noticed, the suggestion is to pull the person aside, have a private discussion, and then hold them accountable for any further actions.
Yep. So, it's more of a corrective process than a punitive one, provided it's done in a non-violent way.
Right. Stressing that there's no acceptable form of violence in words or actions, even as you address the misconduct. It's about ensuring that change happens.
That makes sense. And from what I gather, experienced nurses and nurse leaders are key players in making this change.
Definitely. Leaders are encouraged to promptly identify bullying behavior and create an environment where reporting bullying is safe and expected.
It's like having a built-in support system, right? When new nurses know they have mentors and leaders who actively combat bullying, it makes a big difference.
Yup. And this support can come in many forms. For example, some recommendations include establishing a chain of command, such as starting with nurse managers, then to human resources, or even state boards in severe cases.
Yeah. Now, I did notice something interesting. One retired nurse, Donna F. Brown, mentioned that even after reporting bullying, nothing was really done in her case.
Right. That's a real eye-opener. Donna F. Brown's account highlights not only the painful personal impact, like feeling tired, depressed, and ultimately being pushed out of the profession, but also the failure of some grievance processes.
I think that part really emphasizes why leaders need to be proactive. It's not just about reporting. The follow-up must be effective. Otherwise, it just reinforces the idea that bullying is tolerated.
Absolutely. And that's a point where I'm a bit cautious. There's this notion of nurses always being like that, or didn't mean it, which dangerously normalizes the behavior.
Yep, exactly. And that sort of dismissive attitude can, ironically, lead to even more dysfunctional dynamics on the floor.
Right? And on top of that, we have some staggering statistics here. Like, studies have shown that over 30% of new nurses have reported bullying, with significant rates of physical and verbal abuse.
Wow. Over 50% verbal abuse and 21% physical assault among nurses and nursing students? That's incredibly high.
It really is. And the impacts go beyond just feelings. They affect teamwork and mental health, leading to depression, anxiety, and ultimately decreased patient care quality.
Yeah, so it seems like addressing nurse bullying effectively isn't just about protecting individuals, it's about safeguarding the entire healthcare system.
Definitely. If nurses are experiencing daily toxic behaviors, it undermines the cohesion of the team, which is essential when you're dealing with high-stakes patient care.
And that could indirectly result in poorer health outcomes.
Exactly. It's all intertwined. I find it interesting that the literature points out reasons like misuse of power, structural constraints, and even the corporatization of healthcare as drivers.
Yep, sure. But I'd also argue that sometimes it's a reflection of broader societal issues, like how we view authority and hierarchy. What do you think?
I agree. I think while the hierarchical nature of nursing is well documented, the emphasis on bullying as a rite of passage is definitely outdated and needs revisiting.
Right. We can't let an old excuse justify behavior that damages both individuals and the system overall.
Exactly. And some clear, actionable recommendations include calling out bullying respectfully, like speaking with the person directly, ensuring that you're not escalating through violence, and using the chain of command if needed.
And nurse leaders can really make a big difference by not only addressing incidents immediately, but also by setting up mentorship programs to support new nurses, especially during that critical first few months.
Yes, a mentorship program is like setting up a safety net. New nurses feel they have a guide to rely on, rather than feeling isolated.
Yeah, it almost reminds me of how in sports, you have veteran players showing rookie players the ropes. Except here, it's about compassion and professional behavior.
Exactly. And another strong point is ensuring accountability. When someone is called out for bullying, they need to see that there are real consequences if the behavior continues.
Right? Because without that, you're just turning a blind eye to behavior that sets the stage for future issues.
Absolutely. And remember, if you're directly experiencing bullying and it's not safe to address it alone, escalating to a supervisor or human resources is advised.
Yep. So, in summary, combating nurse bullying requires action at all levels, from individual interventions like calling someone in to broader systemic changes initiated by leadership.
Precisely. It's about creating a culture where bullying is not tolerated, and where every nurse, irrespective of their experience, can feel respected and supported.
This conversation really sheds light on not just how to address nurse bullying, but also on how crucial a healthy work environment is to overall patient care.
Couldn't agree more. By challenging traditional norms and fostering open dialogue, we can hopefully pave the way for a more resilient, caring, and inclusive profession.
And it seems the recommendations here provide that practical roadmap: acknowledgement, direct addressing, and a zero-tolerance culture.
Exactly. It's clear that change is necessary, and that starts with each one of us.
Well said. Thanks for the engaging discussion. It's a tough topic, but one that needs to be addressed head-on.
Thank you, and thanks to everyone listening. Let's keep pushing for a healthier, safer environment for our nurses everywhere.
Absolutely. Until next time, take care and stand up for what's right.